Hey everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode, and this is another Motivational Monday.
Yeah.
And this one is the number one obstacle to success.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
Me?
Actually, that's a good one. That's actually a good answer.
Yeah, yourself?
We ourselves and our limiting beliefs, that actually might be the number one. But for today, we're actually going to talk about getting started, just starting in the first place, which can relate to us, right? In our mind and how our mind tricks us into not starting, right? So I'm going to let you, we just had a Freedom Capital Investments event here at our office. And one of the stories that Della told, she was the one hosting it at the very beginning, was a story that I wanted you to share because I thought it was very impactful and it allowed everybody to relate to what we're talking about. And all the speakers on the panel, everybody referred back to it, right?
The entire time? Yeah,
exactly. So go ahead and tell the story.
Yeah, so the story is about, do you remember that time that you went off of a diving board for the very first time? Do you remember walking up to the edge and then looking over the edge and then running back, you know, or not even doing it at all,
or climbing back down if it was a high.
And so it's the jumping off, that first initial jump. And so I just told Danny, I said my first time was, well, I don't even want to say how many decades ago it was. But I was at Michigan State University before I was even a student there. And the event that I was at, we actually got to go to their swimming pool, and they've got the diving platforms. And they opened them up, and I went up because I didn't want to do. Well, I think I actually did like one of the small ones, like the 1 meter board, which that's only 3 feet. But I went straight up to the top, to the 10 meter platform. That's 30 feet. And I got up there, and I just got up there, and all of a sudden I got up to the top of the platform, and I have a little bit of fear of heights, but not a lot. And boy, that really hit. And I walked to the edge, and I ran back. And then I walked to the edge again, and there's all these people going, "Come on, John! Come on, we're waiting!" So and I didn't want to do it, and so I sat on the edge. So here I am sitting on the edge of the 10 meter platform, 30 feet above the water. And I'm just sitting there, just going, "I can't do it! And everyone's like going, "Jump!" And so finally, I just scooted forward, and I fell down and fell into the water, and I was like, "That was awesome!" And I went running right back up, and I went running right off. And so it was the whole thing of the what did you feel? When you got to the edge of the diving board, and then and after you did it the first time, what did you do? Well, me, I ran right back up and did it again.
And most people do, right? And most people are fearful of their very first dive or jump, and once they do it, they are so excited that they run back and do it again and again. And it relates to the law of the first deal. You're scared, you're scared, you're scared, you're scared.
Fear the unknown.
Yes. You do it. And then you go, "Woo, that was fun." And you race around and you do it again.
I want to do that again.
And I've seen investors do that with us time and time again. We always share the story of people who are like, ask questions, and slow. Okay, I'm just going to give you 50,000. I'm going to start there, right? That's all I have. That's all I have. And then they do it, and they get through like their first deal, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, I have 300,000 actually. Let's do that again. That was awesome. Look at how my money grew." That whole Kevin O'Leary says, you put your soldiers out there, and they came back with more soldiers. And it's the greatest experience. And even somebody here on our team that we refer to every now and then, she and her husband decided to become private lenders, and they used some of their money. And after they did it, they were like, "Oh, let's do that some more." It's just a very exciting experience once you do it the very first time. And so the number one obstacle to success is ourselves, and it is just getting started and doing that first thing. So we really want to encourage you to take the steps. Having a phone call with Ben and CJ to talk about it, that's nothing, right? That's not diving off of a board. That's asking them, how high is the board? How far am I going to fall when I jump?
Where is the board?
Where is it?
What is the board made of?
Exactly. You're asking questions, right? So that is the very first step that it's so easy to take. And that's what builds the relationship anyway, to allow you to even see the deals that we have to offer and the opportunities we have for you to invest in. Otherwise, you're not likely getting these offerings sent to you anyway, because many times we had to have a relationship with you established. So do the easy part first. Just get on that phone call. Talk to Ben and CJ. Ask him any and every question you can possibly ask. And then your next hurdle is going to be, okay, what do I do now? Did I like what they had to say? Am I comfortable with these investments? And if I am, what are the steps that I need to take in order to start walking down the diving board? And ultimately, we want to help prepare you to the first jump, right? You don't have to go off Flip's 30-foot diving board, right? You don't have
to go straight to the top.
You can go off a small diving board, and so many of our investors do that. They will start with $50,000 and say, here is the short diving board. I'm just going to test this out. And if I like it, then I'm going to go up to that 30-foot. And if I like that, I'm going to go up. And they continue. Like, we've had investors start with $50,000 and have over a few $1 million with us. So it's a journey, and part of that journey is trust, and part of that journey is getting comfortable. So we want to motivate you today to do the things that we do often. We recorded a podcast. You've already heard it if you're listening and keeping up with all of our dailies. Action defeats fear. So your first action is that strategy session call. Your second action will be what you guys discussed after of taking that next step. But you'll never get anywhere if you just keep on doing nothing. So we want to motivate you to do something. One very small step is going to point you to the right direction. And just remember the feeling that you felt if you ever experienced that diving off a diving board, and how excited you were to go back and do it again. The same thing applies to investing. And if you didn't dive off a diving board, then maybe riding a bicycle. The first time you did it without training wheels or something, right? You had to try. So anything else to add?
What I always say is the Great Wall of China was started with just one brick.
That's right.
Always remember that.
Yes.
That's all.
Love it.
Just my cheese. That's all I have.
I love your cheese, babe.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join the Investor Club. Or right now, we've got a lot of things going on, so it's very important that if you want to be a part of any of these, make sure you're joining the Investor Club and reaching out to Ben and CJ, talking to them. And make sure you're checking us out on all the social medias, because we've always got stuff going on. We just had an event a few days ago, whenever that was. I already don't know what day it is. But we hope that you enjoyed this episode. We like to end all of our episodes with
invest smart,
live happy.
Bye everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.